The Berlin Wall's purpose ended in a single night. Yet, this colossal barrier was brought down, surprisingly, by a single announcement. For nearly 40 years, it divided East and West, claiming at least 140 lives. This historic structure vanished abruptly. Behind this dramatic collapse lay a structural cause, relevant even today: the unforeseen downfall brought about by a rigid regime. Why did a single wall bring down a nation? Who misjudged its ultimate fate? And what lessons does it hold for modern society? Let's delve into the complete story of the Berlin Wall's collapse. In this main feature, we will also explore the emotions of the people at that time in detail. In the early 1960s, Berlin, the front line of the Cold War, was a place where tensions between the East and West blocs had reached their peak. From East Germany, in particular, a significant number of skilled individuals were defecting to the West, posing a severe threat to the nation's existence. In the early hours of August 13, 1961, the East German government suddenly announced it would seal all borders with the West. The construction of the Berlin Wall began. Initially barbed wire, it quickly transformed into a solid concrete wall, stretching for 155 kilometers. East Germany called it the anti-fascist protective barrier, explaining to its citizens that it was to prevent infiltration from the West. It was truly expected to be a national defense line, intended to maintain the prestige of a socialist state and ensure internal stability. After its construction, the number of defectors from East Germany plummeted. On the surface, the wall's construction appeared successful. However, this was a false stability, built upon the cost of depriving citizens of their freedom and suppressing their spirits. The wall undeniably succeeded in its immediate goal, temporarily halting the exodus of people from East Germany. Despite strong protests from Western nations, East Germany established the wall as a fait accompli, and the international community gradually acquiesced. East Germany maintained order with the wall, showcasing the stability of its socialist system both internally and externally. Border security was tightened, evolving to include a double wall, landmines, and even automatic firing devices. The secret police, known as the Stasi, meticulously monitored citizens. Dissent was not tolerated, and free speech was severely suppressed. The economy was proclaimed to be continually developing under central planning, giving the appearance of a stable society. East Germany held a crucial position within the Warsaw Pact, projecting an image as the Soviet Union's most loyal ally. However, this superficial success was rooted in accumulated internal contradictions and a rigidity that turned a blind eye to global changes. In the late 1980s, General Secretary Gorbachev emerged in the Soviet Union, advancing reforms under perestroika and glasnost. These changes in the Soviet Union sparked waves of democratization movements across Eastern European nations, causing socialist regimes to falter one after another. However, East German leader Erich Honecker dismissed these changes as anti-socialist incitement from the West and refused to implement reforms. The economic disparity with the West widened. The living standards of East German citizens stagnated, and discontent steadily accumulated. By accessing free information from Western television and radio, citizens began to realize the regime's deception. In the summer of 1989, when Hungary opened its border with Austria, a mass exodus of East Germans began. This circumvention of the wall demonstrated to the world that the East German government's control was no longer effective. But here, an unseen pitfall lay open, a critical misjudgment within the regime that would determine everything. Although new leader Egon Krenz replaced Honecker, no effective measures were found to resolve the situation. Information control had completely collapsed. Through Western media, East German citizens gained accurate knowledge of their country's true situation. The Monday demonstrations in Leipzig steadily grew, with hundreds of thousands of citizens marching and shouting, "We are the people!" In the past, armed suppression had occurred, but given the recent Tiananmen Square massacre, military intervention was hesitated. Furthermore, the Soviet Union announced the Sinatra Doctrine, pledging not to interfere in the internal affairs of Eastern European nations. East Germany lost its backing. Within the government, a deep conflict emerged between reformers who recognized the gravity of the situation and conservatives who advocated a hardline approach. The leadership, entrenched in bureaucracy, neglected to adapt to change and refused to listen to the voice of the people. The adherence to the wall system, maintained for so many years, was a sunk cost fallacy that clouded the leadership's judgment. On November 9, 1989, the East German government held a press conference regarding the liberalization of foreign travel. Spokesman Gunter Schabowski was preparing to announce relaxed travel regulations, but he had misunderstood crucial information. In response to a reporter's question, he declared that travel liberalization would take effect immediately, without delay. In reality, it was a more procedural easing to be applied from the following day. But news agencies worldwide immediately reported, "The wall has fallen." Hearing this erroneous report, tens of thousands of Berlin citizens flocked to the wall's checkpoints, surging forward in search of freedom. The border guards on site, lacking instructions from above, had no means to deal with such an immense crowd. Then, at 10:45 p.m., the commanding officer, yielding to the pressure of the crowd, finally made the decision to open the border gates. A rigid dictatorial regime, brought down by a single misstatement and the fervor of the people, collapsed in an instant. The fall of the Berlin Wall demonstrated how fragile and susceptible to collapse a rigid regime becomes when it continuously resists change. Here lies a universal lesson. If you ignore the voice of the people and continue to conceal information, collapse is inevitable. A single wall brought down a nation because of the leadership's rigidity, which suppressed people's freedom and failed to adapt to change. What they misjudged was the people's accumulated discontent and the limits of information control in an information-driven society. This history teaches us the importance of information transparency and the fragility of organizations that resist change. In an uncertain era, the quality of decision-making will differ significantly between those who understand this failure and those who do not. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and like it. We introduce a new history of failure every day. Thank you for watching.
この失敗は歴史のほんの1ページ。世界にはまだ語られていない失敗が数多くあります。失敗の歴史をチャンネル登録して次の物語もぜひご覧ください。